All right, so there seems to be a bit of confusion about this, and I'd like to try and clear it up before we get too far into the day. The winter that you guys see on the roster for these two teams, it's not winter as in the streamer from NVIDIA winter. It is actually, believe it or not, another person in the world who has the name Winter. So
yeah, that name must be so common.
Well, I mean, it's a season, dude. I mean, I'm surprised we don't see somebody named Summer or Fall more.
Well, there's a guy on NA called Summer. He's always watching my stream. He's always playing on ladder. So
there's a cutie girl I follow on Twitter named Summer too.
Oh,
but okay,
there you go.
Let's hop into it, shall we, guys? I'm Rifkin, casting this morning with Fenner, and I will give him a special thanks for coming out to cast, as it is fairly late for him. But spawning here in the top right corner of the map, playing for MVP, it's the red Protoss YongHwa.
And in the bottom left of the map, the king of slippers from My Insanity, it is Kane.
The king of slippers. I gotta quickly adjust because I forgot we were doing the Korean server ladder stuff the other day. But yeah, I was actually really impressed to see Kane wearing those slippers at WCS.
Yeah.
That kind of blew me away a little bit. But
where's he going with this fella?
I don't think this is a gold base, or it might be. Okay, I was gonna say it definitely helps check for proxies in best of ones. Last thing you want to do is see two gateways sitting right over here. While you're
yeah, exactly.
Banking on
this.
Some
people stick him at the third base on this map. Usually in the main base or your third base. He did actually check in his main base for proxy as well, so he did look for that. But fast scout coming out for YongHwa, so he's going to see this instantly. But he's also put down a Nexus first, so there's not really too much he can do to challenge it at this point.
Yeah, and just generally speaking, we see a lot of Protoss players, especially, and I'll even go as far as to say South Korea, struggle to deal with a gold base. It's not exactly like you can easily all in this. A typical 4-gate can still apply a bit of pressure, but with the accelerated economy Kane has, it's a little bit harder to pull off. We've seen this happen multiple times in the Elite League, and it just feels like there's no great answer to this gold base other than trying to out-macro it. That's what seems to be a lot of players try to do, but yeah, more often than not, it's that early applied pressure that seems to fail. I think the best example of anything I've seen work against this is just putting the Stalkers on the low ground and denying mining with a Mothership Core.
That does sound very annoying. I'm not very experienced with this scenario myself. I don't really do this. I'm just thinking of on the Inferno pool, sometimes I go for the gold base, and that can get really nasty. It's not exactly the same because it's low ground up to high ground, whereas Inferno pools is high ground onto low ground, but it's probably pretty similar. So it's definitely very harassable. So what Kane will need to do in that scenario is have units out before YongHwa harasses. So he's going to have to be very careful with his scouting to see when YongHwa is actually putting units out onto the map. If he gets caught off guard and his units just turn up and he doesn't have his own units, like, he's just going to get destroyed. He's going to have no chance at all.
I think a really important thing about YongHwa to note, though, is he has actually been absent from the Elite League in the last couple of months, but there's been several instances, best of 7 monthly finals, where he plays against somebody like True, who does these sort of things. Early gold bases, hatchery blocks at the natural type things. So of all the players, of all the Protoss that could have come up against this, I do have faith in YongHwa.
Yeah, for sure. And let's have a look at what he's doing. He's got a Stalker going. Not much else at all, and there's the Stargate. That is a fast Stargate as well off a Nexus first, so he's probably going to be looking for what is pretty much standard nowadays, the Oracle, right? Most people go for Oracle. Sometimes people go for the Phoenix nowadays, but most of the time it's Oracle. And Kane needs to be ready for that because that goal base is very, very close in comparison to where he would normally take his third base.
But there's already 2 queens out, and that alone just scares me for getting anything done with the Oracle. Maybe gets a little bit of damage done, maybe forces some pressure out of Kane, but I do think the nice thing for us, we look at the income right now, and YongHwa's actually not doing too poorly compared to somebody as a gold base, and that's thanks to that early probe lead. Chrono Boost is a hell of a, well, it's a hell of a thing, but of course, once Kane gets his own natural set up properly, he'll have that wonderful economy going for him. And he's going to actually scout the Stargate, and the fact that it's an Oracle.
Yeah, instant Spore going down for Kane there. He's not going to, well, he will take some damage, probably. Oracles always get something done, unless he completely miscontrols it, but that means that Kane is going to get away with this greedy base. 4 gateways coming up, 5 gateways coming up really quickly for YongHwa. It looks like he's going to go off this Oracle straight into some hardcore aggression to try and shut Kane down for being greedy. Another gateway going down. This is definitely going to be some heavy gateway aggression behind these 2 Oracles, Rifkin.
It depends on what kind of aggression that gets applied here. I mean, he's got the pylon down here in the bottom right. He might try and go for some sentries. He might just go straight zealots. But truth be told, I mean, it's going to be really hard to abuse somebody like Kane. He's got this wonderful economy. His drone count's already towards 40. I mean, he could stop drone production and start going roaches and lings and still have decent income.
Yeah, that's true. The problem is he has to scout this coming. He sees the gateways finish, the war brigade finish up. There's some lings on the production tab right there. He doesn't really see anything in terms of pylons, though. He's got an overlord on the right, and he hasn't seen a probe go past because it was hidden since the start.
Oh, two oracles.
Yeah, it all depends what comes on the production tab for Kane next year, because he's not going to see it for quite a while. Will it be drones? Will it be roaches?
The oracles here kind of remind me of... This is almost like watching Hellions for Terran player. These are just going to melt through the lings.
Yeah, they will. But roaches are backing up. Kane knows something's up. Now he definitely knows something up. Spore Crawler there, 2 queens, and the lings go
I like
in.
this
Once
disengage.
these roaches come out.
I really like that disengage out of Kane. It might not seem like a big deal, but keeping those things alive is huge. Queens sadly are going to go down. He's not able to quite focus down those oracles on the far backside, but oh, those roaches are so close to popping.
Yeah, they did pop as well, but there's just so many units here. The problem with this base is that when units spawn for Kane, they're all scattered out everywhere. They've got to move from the natural. Look at them. Look at the unit path going from the natural to the goal base. They're all the way around. It takes them so long to get over there. Yeah. Such a long reinforcement time. Now the drones are off the base. His income is shattered.
What is he trying to do with the drones? Oh, he's going to try to evacuate them, but into the oracles? No, the oracles aren't going to go for the bait. They'll come back home, or not home, back to the fight. A recall still available for YongHwa if this goes a little bit too south, but I think he's going to take a pretty decent fight with or without this. And the time warp going to slow down some of the lings, but the roaches are just not numerous enough for this. And Kane's in trouble.
Yeah, just too many Zerglings there for Kane. The oracles just decimated every single Zergling. Now he's back down to 2 base, and that's GG. YongHwa, he knows how to shut down a greedy base.